I
Hello,
can't
everyone.
hear you.
Well, you can now. Um, it's good to see everyone here, and hello, everyone. This is Entelechy Sock, and Entelechy Sock just wants to ramble a little bit um, about basically the history of what it is to be human and what's going on now in present day, just certain facets of all of that. Um, anyway, um,
Yeah.
boy, as our population increases, as our technology increases, as our burden on the natural world, creating a sort of an extinction level situation, as that increases, a lot of different forms of stress get shared by us all. And some of that stress, you would say, is more of an existential stress. Like, gosh, what is it to be human, and why do we fuck up so much, and why does it look like we're inevitably destroying the environment and wipe ourselves out? Just a moment, I have to talk to somebody. Don't bother me.
All
Okay.
right.
All right. Anyway, in no particular order, um, just to pick this one out, the ethos of what you could call governmental and quasi-governmental secret organizations. There's of course going to be some variety and individuality and all of that, but the general ethos was spelled out in a document some years ago. The idea being the phraseology used was we are engaged in a life or death struggle with an implacable foe whose avowed objective is world domination. There are no rules to such a game. Hitherto accepted norms of human conduct do not apply. We must learn to defeat our enemies in such a way and with such thoroughness that that there just is no other way to view it, no other possibility. And oh God, the ethics of the organizations that try to enforce, say, a Cold War, or even very serious competition between two large societies. You could almost take it down to mafia groups, the way they interact sometimes. Um, all these organizations are trapped into a continually escalating need to despiritualize themselves or die. This is what the ethos of power over other people and other things, the whole guiding light of our present society. This is what that forces. Um, there are many positive things, many good things about being a human. I'm afraid this particular style of being a human, the one I belong in, the one you belong in, the one we all belong in, the modern world, this particular style is not sustainable. Not at all. And so all of us have a certain reasonability in any existential disturbances we might feel in ourselves. And so I, one of your socks, one of billions, intend to just ramble on a little bit for you, hopefully for your relaxation and enjoyment. As you may be aware, in the past 4 years, uh, Lou Elizondo and other people, Christopher Mellon, others, have caused caused in the U.S. government a partial UFO disclosure. Um, they call them UAPs, but that's small potatoes. It's UFO disclosure. It happened to a certain degree a few years ago. They say that they're just playing it out. All right, now they're wanting to get more evidence, etc., before they make any more dramatic statements. I hope that we can get beyond a certain threshold type of information regarding that. I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't. Hell, I wouldn't be surprised if some very powerful interests in the human sphere didn't consider causing some calamities rather than allowing that information to get out. The whole top shelf problem with the UFO information getting out seems to be that the present power elites, plural, of the world would probably lose the narrative function. They wouldn't be able to control the narrative anymore, at least not so much. And if ordinary people or new people, or however you want to put it, were forming new narratives that these old narrative makers don't approve of, that could just lead to, they might think they have no purpose. And so, losing the narrative function, losing the stranglehold on the narrative function, that is the semi-stranglehold on the narrative function. It seems calamitous, I assume, to certain strata of human society. And this UFO thing is like that. It could do things like that. It offers the possibility of something so numinous, something so attracting, attention-getting, unusual, odd. It offers the promise of that to such a degree that it could suck the oxygen out of the news cycles. It could suck the oxygen out of things like professional sports. It could suck the oxygen out of even politics to a certain degree, just because so much attention would be being paid to it rather than these other things. Anyway, that's the sock puppet for this evening, and thank you very much. Good night, y'all.